So to summarize our yesterday's class, metal d orbitals have degenerate energy in free state. In the presence of ligand, their energy increases slightly. But then when ligand electrons and metal electrons interact with each other, they come close to each other, repulsion occurs, some orbital increase in energy, some orbital decrease in energy, right? So now why dz square and dx square minus y square energy increases? Why not these three orbital energy increases? Very good, Gauri. So I told you last class, the ligand come along the axis, right? And these two orbitals have x, y, z. And these two orbitals have their lobes or electron density along the axis. Correct? So the repulsion between the metal electron and ligand electron will be maximum in this. So they face more repulsion, more is the energy. Correct? Is that clear, everyone? Very good, Aishwarya. Is that clear, everyone? Yes. Then we said, what is the energy difference? This is zero energy center is known as barycenter. The energy difference between T2G and EG is known as delta O, crystal field splitting. And if this is zero energy, from zero, if you fill electron in EG, the energy of the system increases. These two orbitals are given a name of EG set of orbitals. These three orbitals are given a name of T2G set of orbitals. If you fill any electron in this set of orbitals, energy increases by how much? 0.6 delta O. Also remember, another unit which we use, delta O is also written as 2. People also use this. This is another unit of measuring delta O value. Okay, both can be used. Don't worry about it. Any of them can be used. So, one electron filling in EG increases the energy by 0.6 delta O. If you fill one electron in T2G, it decreases the energy by minus 0.4 delta O. Correct? DQ, there is no particular full form for it, right? I need to check. As far as I remember, there is none. It's a symbol, I guess, as far as I remember. It's a symbol author, DQ. Okay? Yes, Ganesh, in the initial photo, it was tetrahedral. This is octahedral we are discussing. Okay? Alright. So then we went on to filling of d electrons. Correct? So when we went on to filling of electrons, so if you have one electron in 3D, it will definitely fill in T2G. Why it will fill in T2G? Not in EG? Yes. Why did you fill electron in T2G? Not in EG? Because it has lower energy. Lower energy shells are filled first, Aufbau rule. Then you came to this. 3D2 also 2 electrons fine. 3D3 also 3 electrons fine. What about fourth electron? Fourth electron will be filled in T2G or EG. What do you think? Fourth electron will be filled in T2G or EG. What do you guys think? Yes. So what do you guys think? Very good. So fourth electron can be filled upon in T2G also. It can be filled in EG also. That depends upon two energies. What were those two energies? Delta O and pairing energy. Correct? In short, it depends only on delta O value. Right? So we said delta O is energy gap between T2G and EG. We said if delta O is very large, that means energy gap between T2G and EG is very large. So electron cannot jump to EG. So a fourth electron will pair in T2G. That's what we said, electron pair in T2G. If delta O is less, then electron will go to EG. Why? Because delta O is less means the energy gap between T2G and EG is very small. So electron can easily jump from T2G to EG. So electron will go to EG. This is what we had summarized. Correct, Pritesh? Yes. Is that clear, everyone? Yes. Very good, Avinash. Is that clear, everyone? All right. Then we said delta O depends upon 3-4 factors. Delta O depends upon 3-4 factors. We discussed one factor yesterday, that was strength of ligand. Strength of ligand. We had discussed this factor yesterday, and we said delta O is directly proportional to strength of the ligand. Delta O is directly proportional to strength of the ligand. Till water you consider weak ligands. After water you consider them to be strong field ligands. Correct? Now can you guys tell me why is it like strong ligand mein delta O is more? I gave you reason also yesterday. Why delta O mein, why strong field ligand has more delta O value? Again Ravi Kiran, you are missing important thing. I said strong field ligand moves more close to the metal. Moves more close to the metal because it can donate lone pair easily. So it moves more close to the nucleus or metal. More is the attraction, more close it moves to metal d orbitals. More is the attraction, more is the closeness of the ligand with metal d orbitals. Then ligand electrons and metal electrons can face more repulsion. So for more repulsion to occur, more attraction is important. Correct? So that is why more attraction with strong field ligand, therefore more repulsion. So T2G will go more up, T2G will come more down. That is the reason we have discussed. Alright. Then we took these two examples and we filled electrons in it. We took these two examples and we filled electrons in it. I will give that Saksha, don't worry. You don't need a Saksha actually. You just see it before the exam. What is before water? What is after water? All halides are before water. Hydroxide, oxalate, sulfide, thiocyanate. Guys, if you are getting worried, how to remember? Very easy, I'll tell you. Water ke pehle all halides are there. All halides are there. Right? Apart from halides, what do you have? Two sulfur ligands, thiocyanide and sulfide, hydroxide and oxalate. These are the only four ligands you have to remember. The rest, everything is strong. Halides, two sulfur ligands, sulfide, thiocyanide, two oxygen ligands, oxalate and hydroxide. Only these ligands are before water. So is there in NCERT also? Yes. Now in this we said cobalt oxidation state is +2. So its electronic configuration 3d7 pose 2. After removing 2 electrons, it will become 3d7. So then we said we have to fill 7 electrons. We said the ligand is weak. If the ligand is weak, then delta O value will be less because ligand strength is directly proportional to delta O. Weak ligand, less delta O. Delta O is less. That means energy gap between T2G and EG is less. So electron can easily jump to EG. Therefore, filling was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This was the filling. Can go to EG easily. Right? How many unpaired electrons? 1, 2, 3. 3 unpaired electrons. So magnetic moment was 3.89. It was a high spin complex or low spin complex? It was a high spin complex because the electron was jumping to EG. It was a high spin complex because electron was jumping to EG. Then in this we had cobalt with strong field ligand 3d7. Strong field ligand delta O is more, so gap between T2G and EG is more. Delta O is gap between these two. So gap is more means electron not jump to EG. So filling will be like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now if all are filled, then it will jump to EG. How many unpaired electrons left? 1 unpaired electron, magnetic moment 1.732. Low spin complex because electrons are paired down. Then we calculated total spin also. All of you know spin quantum number can be +1/2 or -1/2. We know this. So I calculated total spin here. So +1/2 -1/2 paired cancel. +1/2 -1/2 cancel. This was unpaired, so +1/2, unpaired +1/2, +1/2. Total spin was 3/2. Here there was only one unpaired electron, so spin was 1/2. Because pair में +1/2 -1/2 will cancel. +1/2 -1/2. ठीक है? तो शाम most guys, tomorrow you guys have a holiday. Tomorrow you guys have a holiday. Okay, there is no class tomorrow. All right. So now let's do a recall test on yesterday's class. Can you guys tell me the answered question? This is an easy one. I have given you everything which you need. I have fulfilled all your desires here. What is electronic arrangement of metal/iron in octahedral complex with D4 configuration if delta O is less than pairing energy? You cannot get this wrong. Please don't get this wrong. If delta O is less than pairing energy, what electronic configuration? How many electrons will go to T2G? How many will go to EG? You definitely do this correct. This wrong. Yes, Naren, Pritesh, Avinash, right. No, Adesh, you are violating maximum multiplicity, Adesh. All right, so I am ending this, guys. So the question has been ended. Yeah, sorry, the question has again come. Yes. All right. So we are sharing the results here. You can see the results. So most of you have answered C. That is correct also. If delta O is less, that means electron goes to EG. So after filling 3 electrons in T2G, 1, 2, 3, fourth electron will go to EG. So your configuration will be T2G3, EG1. So correct answer is C indeed. So those who have answered A and B, is it clear now? Those who have answered A and B, is it clear now? Yes. So those who have answered A and B, is it clear now? Your delta O is less means T2G and EG gap is less. This is delta O. So after 1, 2, 3, since the gap is less, fourth electron can easily jump here. Okay? All right. So now I will tell you today how to find CFSE, crystal field stabilizing energy. So stability of a molecule, please learn this carefully, it is very important. Stability of a molecule is directly proportional to crystal field stabilizing energy. Okay? This is a very important concept. Right? Now let us see how to find it. So CFSE is given by, please understand this carefully, number of electrons in T2G into, see this carefully, number of electrons in T2G. So I had already told you, each electron which goes to T2G stabilizes the molecule by how much energy? Minus 0.4 delta O. So 1 electron stabilizes by this much, 2 electrons stabilizes by 2 into this much, 3 will stabilize by 3 into this much. So if number of electron in T2G is known, then it will be into minus 0.4 delta O. Minus 0.4 delta O plus, if electron goes to EG, it destabilizes the molecule, increases the energy of the molecule. Therefore, number of electron in EG into plus 0.6 delta O. Is that clear, everyone? No, Saksha, you don't. Is that clear, everyone? So this is how you find CFSE. This is there for your boards. Boards may you have to do this much only. Don't do anything more than this. Okay? Don't do anything more than this. Yes. Now, I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. We have taken cobalt H2O6 2+. This is our complex. Correct? This is our complex. So if you write the cobalt electronic configuration is 3d74s2. Oxidation state of cobalt is X plus 6 into 0 is equals to +2. That comes out to be +2. Correct? Now, cobalt +2 will be how much? It will be 3d, remove 2 electrons, it will become 3d7. So water is a weak field ligand. We have already done this example, I am doing it again. Water is a weak field ligand. Water will be considered as weak field ligand, guys. So electron will, weak field ligand means delta O is less. Electron will go to Eg. So your configuration will be T2G Eg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So how do you find CFSE? CFSE will be given by number of electron in T2G and Eg. T2G may you have how many electrons? 5. So 5 electron in T2G into minus 0.4 delta O plus number of electron in Eg is 2 into plus 0.6 delta O. Right? If you simplify this, you'll get 5 into 4 is 20. So minus 2.0 delta O plus 1.2 delta O. So this gives you a value of minus 0.8 delta O. This is crystal field stabilizing energy. The energy is coming out to be negative. That means this complex is stable. This complex is stable. One more thing is, what is the unit of this? The unit of this is centimeter inverse. The unit of this is centimeter inverse. And remember, this delta O which you are finding is a energy between T2G and Eg. This is an energy gap. This is a energy gap. Correct? Now, I will tell you how to convert it into joule. So this is energy. Now I'll tell you how do you find this energy T2G and Eg के बीच में. This is experimental method. So if electron is in T2G, if you throw energy on it, it will absorb a photon and get excited to higher energy level. Correct? So by UV visible spectroscopy, this is the name of spectroscopy, UV visible spectroscopy, the emitted photon will have some energy. Let's say this is E2, this is E1, right? So you will measure delta E, E2 minus E1, which is also your delta O, which will become energy is nothing but Hc by lambda. So centimeter inverse because you measure 1 by lambda. Or you can assume it like this, Rydberg formula, N1, N2, 1 by lambda is 1 by N1 square minus 1 by N2 square into RH. You can use this also. So it is just like electronic transitions in structure of atom. So you measure this delta O using structure of atom concept, which is equal to Hc by lambda. From here you can find lambda. Therefore it is 1 by lambda. Therefore it is centimeter inverse. So 1 by lambda, lambda is in centimeter. So 1 by lambda will be centimeter inverse. That's why you write it in centimeter inverse. Right? Why in formula it is minus 0.4 and plus 0.6? Chetan, I think I told you if you put 1 electron in T2G, it decreases the energy by minus 0.4 delta O. If you put 1 electron in Eg, it increases the energy by 0.6 delta O. So 1 electron के लिए this much. N electrons के लिए how much? n electrons will decrease how much? N into minus 0.4 delta O. N electron will increase how much? N into plus 0.6 delta O. Is that clear, KV Chetan? Yes, Chetan, is it clear? Right. So this is how you find CFSE for boards. I'll give you one more example. Let us take FeCN6. FeCN6. FeCN6 4 minus. So iron electronic configuration is 3d6 4s2. Iron oxidation state you can find X plus cyanide Cn minus 1 is minus 1. So 6 into minus 1 equal to minus 4. So X minus 6 is equal to minus 4. This implies X is plus 2. So iron is plus 2, which implies iron plus 2 will be 3d6. Now Cn is strong field ligand or weak field ligand? Cn minus is a strong field ligand. That means delta O is high. Delta O is high means T2G and EG में gap is large. So electron cannot jump to EG. So that means electron pair in T2G. Electron pair in T2G. Correct? So what will be your configuration? This is your T2G. This is your EG. So you have to fill 6 electrons. 1, 2, 3. Electron will not jump because delta O is large. It cannot jump. 4, 5, 6. So your configuration becomes T2G6, EG0. Right? It's a diamagnetic complex. No unpaired electron. Diamagnetic, low spin. Because spin is 0. Spin is 0. All electrons are paired. Right. Magnetic moment 0. No unpaired electrons. Now find CFSE. CFSE is number of electron in T2G into minus 0.4 delta O plus number of electron in EG into plus 0.6 delta O. This comes around T2G may you have 6 electrons into minus 0.4 delta O. EG may you have 0 electrons, so it does not matter what you take. So it comes out to minus 2.4 delta O. CFSE is more negative. So if somebody asks you which complex is more stable out of these two, this one or this one. So you'll say this complex is more stable because its energy is less. Lesser is the energy, more is the stability of the complex. Right? Do not consider negative sign as in the magnitude. What happens if oxidation state is plus 1? If it was plus 1, then no problem. 1, then you will have 3d7. Then you'll have 4s1. Then you'll have 4s1. Then as we have studied in back pairing, this electron also jumps to 3d6. So it will become 3d7. Then you have to fill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that clear, Ronish? But that situation will never come with your case. Don't worry. Ionic bond. Yes, Pritish. If ionic bond will be formed, but why metal receives electron? We are not saying metal is receiving the electron. When did we say? These are the electrons of metal only. We are not arranging the ligand electrons here. We are arranging the metal electrons only here, Ravi Kiran. We have to calculate delta O in last step. No, we keep it in the form of delta O only. You will keep CFSE in terms of delta O only. If delta O value is given, then substitute. Otherwise, no. Okay? This has more stable as one more less electron will increase the value. Yes, Adesh, you are right. Now, one important thing is this is in centimeter inverse. What is the conversion for centimeter inverse into joule? Remember this, sometimes they may give you option in joule. So 1 kilojoule is 83.6 centimeter inverse. Remember this conversion. So if the options are given in kilojoule, you can use this conversion for converting centimeters to kilojoule. Okay? Now either you write it like this. You also know 1 delta O is 10 dq. So this can also be written as minus 24 dq. Both are correct. Both are correct. Either you write in terms of delta O or you write in terms of dq. Alright, so this is what I wanted to say, but for JEE, one more thing which is important. For boards, CT, this is fine. For especially JEE advanced kids, remember one thing, usually JEE may ask, right? So CFSE, DQ is another unit of it, Ganesh, like delta U, delta O, you can measure the energy gap in terms of DQ also. That is another unit of measuring the energy here. I had told this in the introduction slide also, initial slide, revision mein. So JEE Advanced ke liye, your CFSE, you have to write it as number of electron in T2G into minus 0.4 delta O plus number of electron in EG plus 0.6 delta O. This is fine. Along with it, you have to add mean pairing energy if it is given in numerical. That means when you are pairing the electron here, you are saying molecule mein T2G mein electron comes, so it becomes stable. Electron comes to T2G, energy decreases, it becomes stable. So T2G mein when it comes, energy decreases. But some energy is used in pairing these electrons also here. Some energy is also supplied to pair these electrons. So you have to remove those energy from the total CFSE. Okay? So keep this point in mind. I'll give you one example of it. I will solve this example only. If I had to solve it in terms of mean pairing energy, if mean pairing energy is given, then only use this concept. If it is not given, simply solve this. So if I take this, is T2G, where is it? T2G mein 5 electron, EG mein 2 electron. So I will take this complex only. Cobalt H2O6 2 plus. So it is T2G mein 5 electron, EG mein 2 electrons. You can write it like this also. Right? So for doing this, it will be given in question answer. Don't worry, mean pairing energy will be given in question. While doing mean pairing energy, you have to write isolated metal atom ka configuration also. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Correct? Now, if you write CFSE of this as number of electron in T2G is 5 into minus 0.4 delta O plus electron in EG is 2 plus 0.6 delta O plus, if you say there are two pairs, so the pairing energy for one pair is P, for two pairs it will be 2P, 2 times pairing energy. So pairing energy will be for one pair, for two pair it will be 2P. So if you write it, because there are two pairs, so plus 2PE you have to add. But if you do that, guys, it will be wrong. Why it will be wrong? Why it will be wrong? Because you have to check the pairs here and pairs here. You have to check the difference from coming here to here. Have you increased any pair? No. These two pairs were already paired here. Right? So since there were two pairs already here, here also you have two pairs. So effectively there is no additional pairing which has been done while coming from here to here. Therefore, it should not be 2 pairing energy. It will be how much? 0 pairing energy. 0 pairing energy. Is that clear? I'll give you one very good example. If I take this molecule, let us say FeCN6, 4 minus. So this is 3d6 4s2. Iron plus 2 is 3d6. So if you draw it CFSE diagram, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 electrons. And if you draw its T2G EG diagram, all electrons pair in T2G 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Correct? pairing energy will always be positive because you are supplying that energy to pair the electron. Now, if you find CFSE in this, CFSE will be given by number of electron in T2G is 6 into minus 0.4 delta O plus number of electron in EG is 0 into plus 0.6 delta O. Now, यहाँ पे you will add pairing energy. So, how many extra pairs have you created? How many extra pairs you have created from coming here to here? Here you had only one pair, but here you have 3 pairs. So how many extra pairs you have created? 2. So you will add 2 pairing energy. If you add, seeing here 3 pairs, 3 pairing energy, your answer will be wrong. You have to take the pairs difference from here to here. That is very important. Is that clear, everyone? Yes. Is that clear, everyone? So this is what I wanted to explain you. This you can use only if pairing energy is given in question. This you can use only if pairing energy is given in question. So I have used the same example so that you can compare better. Yes. So this is what I wanted to tell you about this. Now I have discussed one factor which affects delta O. I'll discuss few more factors. You can see here, guys. We don't have to take much examples. I have kept everything in one slide. Okay? If number of pairs decreases, it will never happen, Adesh. That case will never come, Adesh. Don't worry. You will never get that case. Now, see what are the other factors which affects the delta O. What are the other factors affecting delta O? First one is most important. Same metal with different charge. Please keep this thing in mind. It is very important. Delta O value for +4 charge is more than +3, is more than +2. So you can see here delta O is +3 oxidation state, delta O is 18200, +2 oxidation state, it is 9300. So as you increase oxidation state, delta O increases. Okay? Now, just to give you example, here delta O is not very high, so here ligand will affect. Ligand important here. So +2 mein, if ligand is strong, electron go to T2G, pair in T2G. If ligand is weak, electron go to EG. Correct? Here the probability delta O increases, the probability of T2G pairing increases. In +4, electron never go to EG. Electron never go to EG. Matlab you will always get low spin complex. Okay? Never go to EG. Matlab rarely it goes. Never go to EG. You will always get electron pairing in T2G. Right? This is one important factor you have to keep in mind. Therefore, when you see nickel +4, always nickel +4 means always electron will pair in T2G. Next factor is different metal ion with same charge. Different metal ion with same charge. Now charge is +2, here also +2. So for that I have a logic here. Delta O is directly proportional to size of the metal atom. As the size of the metal atom increases, its tendency to attract electron or accept electron increases. So size increases, delta O increases. Cobalt is larger than nickel, so its delta O value is more than nickel. But this is not very important factor. You will not get this in exam. I should also tell you what is important for exam. So this is very important. Star, wherever I am putting star is important for exam. So first factor is very important for exam. Correct? Yes, Athar. That means +4 mein if you use weak ligand also, then also pairing will occur in T2G. That is the meaning of it. +4 mein weak ligand also will put the electron in T2G because +4 mein delta O value increases a lot. If I give you in terms of percentage, from here to here increases 25%, from here to here increases 50%. in delta O values. ठीक है? Second is indirectly related to first. Correct, Chandan. Third one, different metal ion with different charge but same number of d electrons. Correct? So this is also not important because there are two factors here. So you can see here, same number of d electrons, 3d3. Correct? Different metal ions, right? But different charge. Correct? So it is exactly same as first one. The only difference was here your metal ion was same. So you'll apply the same concept. Charge or oxidation state is directly proportional to your delta O value. It is subset of the first one. Do not worry about it. Again, it is not important. Okay? Third one, fourth one is again very important. So I'm writing here delta O value for 5D series is more than 4D series, which is more than 3D series. This is delta O value ka order. This is delta O value ka order. That means if I take nickel, palladium, platinum. So here delta O value is X. Here it will become 1.5x delta O value. And here it will become 3x. So as you go down the group in D block, delta O value increases. Okay? That is again very, very important. Okay? Now, this is the reason you can see here, cobalt, rhodium. So cobalt, you should know, cobalt, rhodium and iridium lies in the same group. So cobalt, rhodium, iridium lies in the same group. So as you are going from 3, 4, 5, you can see the increase in delta O values. You can see the increase in delta O values. So this is also again very, 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 very important. Okay? So I have marked the important ones. Three factors are very important: ligand, charge, oxidation state, and principal quantum number n. Okay? These three factors you should always keep in mind. That means lower element, that is the reason they will always form low spin complex. It can form high spin also, low spin also. That is the meaning of it. Okay? First point again, Chetan, nothing beta. As you increase the oxidation state, Chetan, as you increase the oxidation state, your delta O value increases. Delta O value increases means T2G and EG mein gap increases. So electron cannot go to EG if the gap increases. So therefore, +2 mein ligand decides. Weak ligand, electron can go to EG. Strong ligand, electron will pair in T2G. +3 also ligand has some role, right? So +3 maybe electron can go to EG or come to T2G. But +4 mein delta O is very large. So electron will never go to EG. It will always pair in T2G. Right? That is the meaning of it. Is that clear? Aryan I'll answer it later, Aryan. Is that clear, Kishore? So keep these 3 points in your mind. They are very important. So only we said F. I didn't get that point, Hari Prakash. So that was for nickel, na, Hari Prakash. That was for nickel. So Hari Prakash, we are trying to say F- is a weak field ligand. But F- also act as strong field ligand for nickel +4. Why? Because +4 oxidation state mein delta O value is very large. Correct? Second point mein nothing, Sakshi. As you increase the size, delta O increases. Left to right you go, size decreases. So as size is decreasing, delta O value is decreasing, Sakshi. That is your this point. I have not taken the values, Chandan. I have taken rough values. I am trying to say, if delta O value here is 1, it will become 1.5 here. It will become 3. Roughly, I am telling you. I am not telling you exact values. I am giving you a rough value. A and D are same. No, A and D are not same. Here, oxidation state is changing. Here, your metal is changing. What are you talking, Kishore? How A and D are same? Here, your metal is same, beta. Here, your metal is different. Here, your oxidation state is changing. Here, your metal is changing. So we are trying to say here, as you go down the group, delta O increases. So cobalt, rhodium, iridium is same group. So as you go down the group, delta O increases. How they are same? Tejas, same thing. Tejas, as you go down the group, delta O value increases. Tejas, in short. So in which order you should apply these factors? First factor is charge. First factor is charge. Second factor is your, in fact, charge bhi nahi. I would say first factor is this point. Principal quantum number n. Second factor is your charge. And third factor is your ligand. This is the order in which you have to apply these factors. Okay? How delta O increases on increasing in oxidation number? You should answer this. I should not, actually. As you increase the oxidation number, metal pe positive charge increases. As positive charge increases, its tendency to attract ligand increases. So more is the force of attraction, more ligand will move close to the metal atom. More it will lead close to the metal atom. More its electrons can interact with metal d electrons. So more is the repulsion between them. So more is the splitting. Correct? I told you for repulsion, attraction should happen. Positive charge is more on metal atom. It can attract ligand more. More is the attraction. They come close. Now ligand electrons and metal electrons can repel more. Is that clear, Basan? Yes, Basan. Is that clear? All right. So let's move ahead. Basan, is it clear now? All right. So these factors, keep in mind, guys, they are very, very important. I'll give you one example of this. Do you guys remember NiCl4 2-? It is in fact important for VBT also. You can apply these factors. So in fact, you can say for VBT also. +4 may always back pairing will occur. Right? Heavier metals may always back pairing will occur. Right? So you can in fact say delta O, you can consider it same as back pairing in VBT. So if ever you want to apply these points again, you can definitely explain it in VBT also. I didn't get your point only, Athar. There is no ligand point here. There is no point where there is a change in ligand. Ligand point is the previous one, Athar, which we have already discussed yesterday. There is no ligand point here, Athar. So all I'm trying to say, first you'll apply principal quantum number, then you'll apply charge, then you'll apply ligand. Right? All right. So let me give you an example. If I take NiCl4 2-, correct? This is the example. And if I take PtCl4 2-, right? So we have studied this. Nickel oxidation state here is +2. So we used to say nickel is 3d8. According to VBT, we used to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We said Cl- is weak field ligand. So no back pairing. No back pairing take place. So 4s is empty. 4p is empty. So Cl- will donate lone pair here. This is according to VBT I am explaining. So remember, delta O is same as back pairing. Delta O more means back pairing is more. For solving question, it is important. So hybridization was sp3, it was tetrahedral. Same thing if you do here, platinum is also +2. It will be 5d8, 6s2, platinum. So platinum 2 plus will be 5d8. So you will draw 5d8. Right? But Cl- here will not be a weak field ligand. Here Cl- will act as strong field ligand. Or if you say Cl- is a weak field ligand. But will back pairing take place? Yes. Back pairing takes place. Why? Because I have just now told you nickel, palladium, platinum. As you go down the group, delta O increases. Delta O means tendency of back pairing also increases. So here back pairing will take place. So heavier, the same factor is applicable for back pairing also, which is applicable for delta O. So if you take this electron will back pair here, and you will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. D is empty, 4s is empty, P is empty. Now Cl minus will come donate here, donate here, donate here, donate here. Your hybridization will become DsP2. Getting a point? This is the importance of the metal. So PtCl4 minus is square planar. They can ask why NiCl4 minus is tetrahedral, but PtCl4 minus is what? Square planar. They may ask. Remember this. Not only this, I'll tell you one important compound. Have you seen this compound? Have you seen this compound? This is there in your NCERT textbook of 11th. I'll tell you the name of this compound. It is cisplatin. It is called cisplatin. Right? Factor should be considered first. Ather beta. I already clearly told you ather here. First factor is N. Second is charge. Last me you will apply ligand ather. This is the order of priority I have given you. Right. This was there in first chapter. Very good, Gauri. This compound is known as cisplatin. It is anti-cancerous drug. Anti-cancerous drug. It is. Right. It is anti-cancerous drug. Very good, Chetana. So this compound is cisplatin. Have you observed the name cis geometry? And it is also square planar. If this drug ClClR 90 degree, it is cis geometry. If you draw its trans geometry, it never acts as anti-cancerous drug. Only in cis isomer it is anti-cancerous drug. In trans it does not act as anti-cancerous. I'll explain the biological importance of this, how it acts as anti-cancerous drug. I'll explain in detail in some class. I don't want to discuss biology now. So this hybridization is also DsP2. But the moment you put nickel here, it becomes sp3. Sorry, it has a chance of becoming sp3. So platinum square planar complex, cisplatin. Remember that. So in short, as you go down the group, tendency to back pairing increases or delta O also increases. Keep this point in your mind. It was there in assignment also. Yes, Basavraj. Keep these points in your mind. Yes, is that clear, everyone? So this is all I want to tell you about CFSE. Now I will move ahead. I'll come to these questions after discussing tetrahedral geometry. Now I'll discuss this crystal field splitting in tetrahedral. I'll tell you what is the difference. What did we tell in octahedral? Where the ligands come along? In octahedral, we said ligands come along what? In octahedral, ligands come along axis. Tetrahedral में ligands come in between the axis. Ligands come in between the axis. So which orbitals have their lobes in between the axis? Which orbitals have their lobes in between the axis? Yes, Gauri. Does dxy, dyz and dzx energy increases? Energy increases because what? Their lobes lie in between the axis. Just reverse of octahedral. Just reverse of octahedral. Whatever you have done in octahedral, it's a reverse of that. Okay? So if you see the CFSE diagram also, what do you observe here? The T2G set of orbital was lying lower in energy. Now they are lying higher in energy. EG was lying higher in energy, now it is lying lower in energy. Correct? Rest everything is same. What else is the change? There you used to say it is delta O. O used to be octahedral. Here it is delta T. T stands for tetrahedral. Correct? Now 3 orbitals here. So this splitting will be 2 by 5 delta T correct? Because its energy is increased by these two orbitals. That's why 2 by 5. Their energy is decreased by these three orbitals, so 3 by 5 delta T. If you write in terms of decimal, it becomes minus 0.6 delta T, and this becomes plus 0.4 delta T. Rest everything remains same. Rest everything remains same. No other change in delta T. Rest everything remains same. Now there are two things which are very important here. First, if you have observed, there we were using T2G. Here we are using T2. And EG jagah we are using E. We don't use G here. We don't use G. Right? So why we don't use G basically? Right? Why we don't use G? तो देखो G का मतलब G-rad होता है. G means G-rad. G-rad is used for those orbitals which have center of symmetry. Correct? For those structures which have center of symmetry. But tetrahedral geometry do not have center of symmetry. Tetrahedral geometry don't have center of symmetry. Therefore, you will not use G. This is the first observation you should observe. Okay? What is the other observation you have to observe? What is the relation between delta T and delta O? So delta T is 4 by 9 times delta O. That means it is larger than delta O or smaller than delta O? It is larger than delta O or smaller than delta O? Yes, it is larger than delta O or smaller than delta O. Are Chetana, 4 by 9 is 0.35 delta O. It is 0.4 0.45 delta O. Correct? So it is less than delta O. So delta T is very, very less than delta O. Now think it carefully, which is a very important point. Delta T is extremely small. Delta T is extremely small. What does it tell you? Yes, Pritish, kind of. Delta T is very small means this energy gap is very small. This energy gap is very small. What can you conclude out of it? What will be your conclusion out of it? If this gap is very small, what do you observe? What does it imply? If this gap is very small, very good, Pritish. If this gap is very small means T2 and E are very close to each other, electron can easily jump from E to T2. Electron can easily jump from E to T2. E से T2 में इलेक्ट्रॉन जंप करा सकते हैं. डेल्टा T मैंने बताया था, I told you delta is more means back pairing is more. Here delta is less means back pairing is less. In fact, back pairing is not there. Tetrahedral is observed when there is no back pairing. So electron can easily jump from E to T2. That means tetrahedral complexes are always high spin complex. Tetrahedral complexes are always high spin complex. They are never low spin complex. It can be a 1 mark question in your board exams also, right? So tetrahedral complexes are always high spin complex. Remember this. This is very, very, very important. They are always high spin complex. Okay? So this is what I wanted to tell you in tetrahedral geometry. CFSE ka formula. How will CFSE formula change? Everything is same, guys. CFSE formula. How it changes? Let's take number of electron in E into minus 0.6 delta T. Right? Plus number of electron in T2 into plus 0.4 delta T. This is how you will find it. You can take the example of, yes, Chetan, you can say that. You can find the example of NiCl4 2 minus tetrahedral complex. We know it is. Nickel is plus 2. 3D8. So we have to fill 3D8. So E is below, T2 is above. How will we fill the 8 electrons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 electrons. E4, T2 4. So put the value here. 4 into minus 0.6 delta T plus 4 into plus 0.4 delta T. So this gives you how much? 2.4 delta T plus 1.6 delta T minus 0.8 delta T. Okay? So can I compare this with octahedral complex CFSE? Can I compare this with octahedral CFSE? Can I compare this with octahedral CFSE? Yes or no? We don't consider mean pairing energy here, Athar, because the complex is CFT is more correct. CFT is 100% more correct than VBT. Can we compare directly? No, we cannot. Because there you use delta O, here you use delta T. If you want to compare stability of octahedral and tetrahedral, find CFSE of octahedral, find CFSE of tetrahedral, keep the CFSE of tetrahedral in terms of delta O, which is 4/9 delta O. Now this will become minus 0.8 into 4/9 delta O. So in terms of delta O, it is how much? You'll get 3.2/9 delta O. So which will be minus 0.3 something delta O. Correct? Yes, Ketan. Units in centimeter inverse. So if you want to compare it with octahedral complex, convert it into delta O. Then compare. Do not directly compare delta T and delta O. Convert T into delta O. Is that clear, everyone? Yes. Is that clear, everyone? So this is the only change you'll get in tetrahedral complex. Rest everything is same. This is there all in your exam syllabus for the coming Sunday, right? We have similarly in this I have already explained you. We have similar concept in square planar complex also. I will discuss it in after your exams. It is not relevant for your coming exam. So this is your syllabus till your Sunday exam. Now let us do some questions on it. How delta is equal to 4/9? Yes, Chandan, very good. So guys, right now since we have a time crunch, Chandan has asked delta T, why it is equal to 4/9 delta O. It's a good question, Chandan. There is a derivation for it. Derivation kya? Arrival for it, not derivation, arrival for it. It depends upon two factors. I'll not discuss it now. I'll discuss in some of the advanced class. It's just not relevant for your exams. Ligands, and one more factor is, it depends upon ligands, and one more factor is there. I think it depends upon metal. Okay? So considering two factors, you get 2/3, 2/3. I will explain it in some of the advanced class. Okay? So when you take these 2/3, you get 4/9. So I will explain it in some of the advanced class, Chandan. Right now, I'm not explaining this. There is a derivation for it. There is a difference between arrival and derival. Derivation में you take a model, you start from basic. Arrival में you take already existing equation and use it to get your answer. Right? So that is called arrival. You are not starting from basic. You are using the existing equation. That is called arrival. If this finishes, let's do some questions on it. I think 2 more classes, Sameer. So let's do some question on it. This is your first question. All of you can answer it very easily. Mean pairing energy is not required in tetrahedral Sanat because it is a high spin complex. Right? So you can start voting for this. We'll do some questions and play Kahoot. That will be our end of syllabus, end of class. I'll teach 2 extra things in today's advanced class. 2 things I will discuss in today's advanced class. So those who are waiting can wait after the Kahoot. Kahoot today has only 3 questions and it is related to tomorrow. It's not on coordination compounds. Don't worry. All right. So you can check this out. You can definitely check this out. After this chapter, guys, we'll start organic. Most likely next week we'll start organic chemistry. Haloalkanes, haloarenes. Rohan, can you check again? All right. So let's end it on account of 3. This is a very easy one. If you do it wrong, then you are not following anything properly. Tejas, Joston, Beta, can you check your answers again? You guys are absurdly wrong. Naren, you also. Can you check your answers again? All right. So let's end it on account of 3, 2, 1 now. Let's end it now. Yes. So guys, I was not expecting this Tejas and Naren. You'll do this wrong. Strong field ligand. Strong field ligand. Strong field ligand. So strong field ligand means delta O is high. Delta O is high means, Joston, beta, you are also wrong. Sorry. Electron will pair in T2G. Electron pair in T2G in all these 3 cases. So if electron is pairing, you will get a high spin complex or low spin complex? You will get a low spin complex. So the answer is D. The answer is D. Joston, Sanjana, Vaibhav, Tejas, then others. I don't know why you guys voted B. All of them are correct. Yes, Bhumika. So the correct answer is D. All of them are strong field ligand. Now the next one is this one. Try to solve this carefully. Finding the oxidation state will solve this question completely. If you can find the oxidation state, your question is solved. If you can find the oxidation state, you can solve. Yes, Chetan, Chirag, it is same. Yes, Chirag, it is same. We are using same in VBT and here. All right. So if you can solve this, if you can solve the oxidation state, this question will be over. Khushi, check again. There is no urgency here, Khushi. If you can solve this question, may oxidation state, this question is over. Adesh wrong. Chetan right. Prajwal wrong. Chinmay Kulkarni wrong. Chetana wrong. Aditya DS wrong. All of you guys are wrong. Athar wrong. Kushal wrong. All are wrong. Very good, guys. All of you are wrong. Very good. All of you are wrong. Darshan right. All right. So let's end it and discuss it because I don't think so you guys are going anywhere in the right direction. Vijay Kumar right. So on account of 3, 2, 1, I am ending this now. Aditya ab aa gaya yaad? So I don't know why you guys answer in so much hurry. Why don't you check pros and cons and answer this? Prashant wrong. So I was knowing this, that's why I have kept this question intentionally. Now you can think you guys are not able to find the oxidation state also. That's your situation. So if you want to improve your situation, better study, right? So chlorate ion is ClO4 minus 1. So there will be a +1 charge on the complex. Correct? So this is a neutral ligand. This is 3. This is neutral ligand. This is also neutral ligand. So cobalt is X plus 3 into 0 plus 3 into 0 equal to +1. So oxidation state of cobalt is +1. All of you could not do this. Right? All of you could not do this much also. Right? So oxidation state is +1. So the answer for that is C. The answer for that is C. All of you did it wrong. Right? You could not find chlorate is ClO4 minus 1. So it will be +1. That is all you needed to find. Adesh, that's a typo error, man. That is self-understood, Adesh. It is CO3. Which ligand have you studied? Have you studied any ligand like this, Adesh? Can you tell me any ligand like this? Can you tell me any ligand like this, Adesh? Then, all right. So you can do this. This, guys, this is a square planar complex, so don't do it now. You can definitely do this as a homework. Try this one as a homework. Right? Try this one as a homework. All right. So let me launch Kahoot. Post that, I will teach 2 things for advanced and we'll end it. Don't worry, we'll end it on time. So let me start the Kahoot now. Guys, you can join quickly and log into kahoot.it so that we can do it faster. Right. So here it will not take more than 5 minutes, don't worry. So I'm sharing the game pin. I'm sharing the game pin. Just a minute. All right. So let's start now. Yes. So I'm sharing the game pin now. All of you get ready for this. After this, we'll have our 2 topics of advanced session that will open up your brain. You will learn a lot of things there. Carbonic acid is CO3 2 minus Khushi. It is not carbonate ion Khushi. That is not carbonate ion Khushi. It was CO3 ligand. CO3 times. तो अगर तुम कार्बोनेट लोगे तो तुम्हारा कॉम्प्लेक्स ही स्टेबल नहीं होगा. It is a octahedral complex Khushi. It's not a tetrahedral complex. So you guys can see the game pin. Khushi, that is a octahedral complex. Khushi, that was a octahedral complex. It is not related to chemistry. It is related to tomorrow. You should understand what is there tomorrow. All right. So tomorrow is a holiday, Rakshan. You're right. Yes. So log in quickly, guys. We will start soon. I want to see how many of you remember something. One of the question is the most obvious one. Remember the one, there are 3 questions, 20 seconds for each question. The one who answers it first is the automatic winner if he answers all 3 correctly. So try to get first one right. Your chances of winning will increase. All right. So I think everybody is here. Nobody lined up. So we can start now. Yes. So we are starting now. All of you please follow. Network is slow, then also it should work. It doesn't take much time. So here comes the first question for you. Choose the correct option from the image given. Choose the correct option from the image given. What was the name of India between 15 August 1947 to 26 January 1950? Bharat, Swaraj Hind, British India, Dominion of India. You have 9 seconds left. So this shouldn't be wrong. Obvious one, if you can rule out the option. Chalo, that's our first question. Let's see. All right. All of you are weirdly wrong. All of you are weirdly wrong. I was expecting this. I did the same quiz in the first year. Majority of them got it right. That kind of thing. You can see how you guys are good at in this case. Your history is gone. Chalo, let us take the next one. Vismay, great. I was expecting Vismay to be in the top 3. No doubt. Very good, Samriddhi, Gauri and Muktamuni. Bhumika. Next one. This one is good one. I am damn sure you'll get it wrong. If you use the option, you can get it right. Popularly called as Deshbandhu, he was an Indian politician and founder leader of Swaraj Party under the British rule. If you use the option, you can get it right. You can get it right easily. Chalo, let's end it here. So, surprisingly, I was expecting this one would not be answered by many of you. Most of you got it right. That's great. Last one, the easiest one. Easiest one. Let's see who is on the top. So, Vismay is nailing it. Man, Vismay. Very good, Chinmay. Chinmay is on the top. Samriddhi is even moving up. That's great. Chalo. Mansi has stepped in. Kushal has stepped in. Last one. Which team it was? Which team it was? India played its first test match against which team after independence in 1952? England, Pakistan, Australia, West Indies. You can't get this wrong. If you get this wrong, then I know only God can help you. All right. So, yeah. Very good. So, we have our answers here. I was knowing most of you will answer England because we got independence from England. That's why I kept first option as England. It was Pakistan. We won that game against Pakistan by an inning and some runs. So we defeated Pakistan in that game. So let's see who is the winner here. Let us see who is the winner here. Last, so I can't tell, Siddharth. Vismay, obviously, I guess. Third one is Janvi. How Janvi came into the picture. Chaitra, all are new faces. That's great. First is Vismay, of course. The first one was not surprising, but how come Janvi and Chaitra? Khushi and KV Chetan, you guys did a good job. Very good, guys. Vismay is not allowing anyone to win here. Vismay has a monopoly here. Chalo. Great, Janvi, Chaitra, you guys played well. I was not expecting this much. Still. Chalo, let us come to our advanced session. I have to discuss 3 things. I will discuss that and we'll move ahead. So, yeah, this was your homework. If you haven't noted it, then this was your homework. Sunday, there is a major test, no? Spurti? Oh, Ravi Kiran, you are knowing it. That's good. Thank you, Tejas. Chalo. This is the only homework I have given. The previous one is not the homework, Chandan, because it has a square planar complex also. So let me teach few things here, guys. Right? I want to discuss VBT of 3 complex. 2 in short. VBT of special complex. If you read books, you will get wrong information about this. So please see this carefully. Those who are here. Okay? So if I write this complex, CONO2 whole 6, 3 minus. This is my complex. Sorry. This is my complex. Correct? This is one of the complex. Now, if you take this complex and if you take some other complex like similar type, not 3 minus, just a minute, 3d7. So let us take 2 minus. So let us take 2 minus. This is one thing we can take. Now, a apart from this, let us take one more complex, that is COCN6 4 minus, sorry, this will be 4, and we can take COCN6 4 minus. Now these are some special cases. Now can you guys tell me what is the hybridization of these two complexes? What is the hybridization of these two complexes? Can you guys tell me? Can you guys just tell me what is the hybridization of these two complexes? Try it out, then I will discuss. I will also parallelly solve. So here cobalt is +2. Here also cobalt is +2. That means cobalt is 3d7. 3d7. Yes, Chirag is getting d2sp3. Right. So now there comes a confusion here. What is the confusion generally people get? So dekho, strong field ligand, back pairing take place. This is what we have studied. But this is where most of us get it wrong. Yes, Pritesh, let us see this. So 3d7 if I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I do the back pairing, it will come here. 4s is empty, 4p is empty. If I do the back pairing, it will become like this. So now 4s, 4p. So now can we have d2sp3 hybridization? Can we have d2sp3 hybridization? Can we have d2sp3 hybridization? No, because we need 2d orbitals. We need 2d orbitals. So dekho, in this situation and in the situations where you get this unpaired electron, one unpaired electron left, in that situation, so you don't have any option, you have to go for sp3d2. But in this situation, there is an option. What is that option? So if you see this, we can say easily, there is no 2d orbitals empty here. So we will get 4d in the picture. We will bring 4d in the picture. We'll bring 4d in the picture. And then we can say our hybridization should be sp3d2. It should be sp3d2. Correct? It should be ideally. Yes or no? It should be. And if it is sp3d2, you are not getting 2d orbitals empty, then why back pairing is taking place? Then we should not do back pairing also. Then we should get unpaired electrons 3. Magnetic moment should be how much? 3.89. Yes or no? Exactly, Chetan. That's what I'm doing. So if we have to use outer orbitals only, why we are doing back pairing? Then we should have 3 unpaired electrons, magnetic moment 3.89. But when we did experiments showed the following. Experiments gave us 2 information. One, its magnetic moment was 1.73. That means how many unpaired electrons? 1 unpaired electron. What does it mean? It means back pairing takes place. First information. What is the second information we got from experiments? The second information was it acted as strong reducing agent. This was another information we got. This was another information we got. Correct? True. So if that happens, then how can we explain d2sp3 hybridization here? So these 2 experiments gave us the idea that hybridization is in these 2 complexes d2sp3, not sp3d2. But the question is how? The question is how? The question is how? So in that case, what was proposed was that one of the electrons here, which is our problem here, will be excited to this 4d orbital. This was proposed. This electron will come here and we will get something like this. I will tell you why it was proposed. You'll get 2d orbitals empty, and 4d has one unpaired electron, excited unpaired electron. That 4d electron is here. So now your hybridization will become D2sp3. Hari Prakash, I think this was the example you had asked me that day. So its hybridization is D2sp3. Okay? Now, this, how do we know this Pratish, your doubt is obvious. How do we know this electron will be jumped? Which example it should be jumped and all? So don't worry about it. These are the only examples which you need to remember for your syllabus. Now, how do we know this electron is excited? So what we did for that, we observed. What did we observe? We observed that whether our CO NO2 6 4 minus, whether it can lose electron and get converted into CO NO2 6 3 minus. Correct? We checked this and we got, for this reaction, for this half redox reaction, E naught was positive. And we know if E naught is positive, that means reaction is spontaneous. Correct? And if it is getting oxidized from +2 to +3, cobalt, if it is undergoing oxidation, that means it acts as a good reducing agent. Is that clear? This is how they explain the geometry of these two molecules. Yes, these are exceptions. I told you exceptions will be explained. All right, Usman. This exceptions will be explained after I finish VBT and CFT. So, Chetan, I hope you are asking this slide only. So what we did, we checked the oxidation potential of this reaction. Here oxidation state is +2, here it is +3. So we saw whether it can lose electron or not. We got E naught value positive here. We know from electrochemistry, if E naught is positive, cell reaction is spontaneous. That means it can spontaneously get oxidized. If it can undergo oxidation, that means it acts as a good reducing agent. Is that clear, Chetan? So that is how we explain this experimental observation. And if it undergo oxidation easily, that means electron should not be present in 3D, it should be present in 4D. Right? Since it undergoes oxidation easily, that means the unpaired electron must be present in 4D, because if it is present in outer shell, ionization energy will be low. You can remove that electron easily. Yes? Is that clear, everyone? So this was the explanation which was given there, right? FeH2O6 3+ may you have 3d6 Chandan. In that case, this problem will not come only, Chandan. Right? So remember these two exceptions, they are very important. Now let me give you one more in coordination number 4. Since my battery is exhausting, I will finish it fast. Two more examples. Copper tetramine. This is the most controversial example. This is the most controversial example which people come across. So copper pyridine, this is 2-, sorry. Copper tetramine 2+. This is pyridine 2+. Here copper is +2. People write sulfate also outside. So copper is 3d10 4s1. So copper 2+ is 3d9. So again, ammonia is strong field ligand. If you explain the geometry 3d9, I'll go little fast, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3d, 4s, 4p. Coordination number 4 means sp3 or dsp2. So we can clearly say no d orbitals empty. So hybridization should be what? sp3. So it should be sp3. That means it should be tetrahedral. Correct? This is what we expect this. Correct? But then again, Chandan, same. 3d6. 2d orbitals are empty, Chandan. 3d6 also d2sp3. It is easy, Chandan. You don't have 3d7 there, Chandan. So we expect this. But experiment showed two things. What was that? XRD told, X-ray diffraction technique told, it was not tetrahedral, it was square planar. First of all. Okay? Second information, it is not good reducing agent. It is not good reducing agent. Yes, these two experiments were there. So what we did, we came down and we started working again. We started working again. We were lost. We started working again. And then we said, if it is XRD, says it is square planar, then it must be DSP2. It must be DSP2. Correct? Square planar. It must be DSP2. It was experimentally proved, Pritish, that it is square planar. So if experiments are saying it is square planar, then it must be DSP2. Then we tried to prove how it is DSP2. So we used the previous theory. What was the previous theory? Previous theory said, ki excite this electron to 4p. Excite this electron to 4p. Then you will get d orbital empty. Then it can show DSP2. Then it can easily show DSP2. Correct? Yes, Ravi Kiran. But scientists came again. Scientists came and said, you guys are acting smart, which cannot happen. It is not a good reducing agent. If it is not a good reducing agent, matlab this electron is not present in outside shell, it is present inside only. It is present inside only. Then how to explain? Then in the last, to end all this controversy, okay, there was a scientist called Huggins. In fact, if you check many coaching modules, many books, they will give DSP2 only. Okay, they will give you this only. So last May Huggins came. It is also called Huggins concept. What did he said there? He said कि copper cannot get oxidized. So obviously the previous theory is wrong. If copper is not getting oxidized, that means previous theory is wrong. All of them are idiots. This cannot happen. Previous theory is wrong. PT, previous theory wrong. Now let me come to the Huggins theory. What does he say? He said, okay, let us do the following. Let us do the following. So he said, let it remain as it is. No problem. Let it remain as it is. What we will do is, we need 1d orbital, 2p orbital, 1s orbital. So he said, since it is 3d, it is 4s, it is 4p, it is 4d. So since they belong to the same shell, these 4p and 4d orbitals can mix with each other. Mix with each other for hybridization. Right? They can mix with each other. So rather than using a p orbital, your ligand might use 1s orbital, 2p orbital, and 1d orbital of 4d. Because whether it uses 4p or 4d does not matter, because they are close in energy. It can use any of these two. So eventual conclusion was that the hybridization is sp2d, one of the rarest molecules which shows sp2d hybridization. You will not see any molecules, any book with these theories. They are taught in higher studies usually. So this is relevant for advanced. Its hybridization is sp2d, square planar geometry, and number of unpaired electron 1, magnetic moment 1.732. So remember these exceptions of VBT. That is very, very, very important. Correct? Yes. I will think about it, Athar. Most likely I can. I will think and post message on the group. Okay? So this is what I wanted to tell. I would suggest you to check this complex. I will discuss it in some of the advanced class. Nickel dimethyl glyoxymato complex. This is also important for advanced. We'll discuss in next advanced class this. Next advanced class we will discuss this. Don't worry, this chapter is not yet over. For your Sunday test, whatever I have taught you is more than enough. For your Sunday test, whatever I have taught you is more than enough. Right. Why one orbital in P left? Chandan, see, we are trying to explain how hybridization involves d orbital. So we said it does not matter whether it uses 4p or 4d. They are same energy. Since they can use same energy, they have same energy, we can use any of these two orbitals. Okay? So that's all from my end, guys. I have taken your 10 minutes extra. Thank you for having the patience. We have to satisfy the condition. Correct. Experiment ke according we go. Not yet, Adesh. I didn't get it yet. Okay? All right. That's all for today. Then why 4p is empty? 4p, 4d have same energy. So any of them can participate in bonding. Okay? All right. That's all for today. Thank you all. May God bless you.